I read what you wrote about your photographs, and I see where you photographed, which is Tempe Town Lake. It's something that I kind of laughed at when I moved here, and I realized that this was the lake, and it's just kind of like this dammed off river. It's funny. I mean, it is the desert, so it makes sense, but it's this weird thing they call a lake, and I grew up in Georgia, and I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I also grew up in Illinois. In Illinois, there's a pond, and this is a pond in Illinois for sure. There's one of these in everyone's backyard, just about. So it's kind of funny. Uh, yeah, scrolled through a few times now, and I like a number of these. Did have some really good compositions. Yeah, we'll go back up to the top and start there. This is really awesome. I had to like look a couple times at these poles, the way that they're bent. It looks so abstract and funny, and I was like, oh, what did you do in Photoshop? Obviously I know that they're not, but it's really cool. It's a good composition. You did a good job with the skies too, and these power lines actually kind of make it for me. It kind of breaks up the whole image just enough. I think if they were without this, it would be a little bit predictable. Maybe, I mean, it'd still be a good photograph and still be interesting, but with these lines, it really helps up or helps break up the composition. So that's a good deal. This is nice too. So you're experimenting with like different depths of field, shallow depth of field here, and it's a great time of day also. The other thing I could say with this is maybe get even closer, and like maybe have these kind of secluded with this in the background next to these big cranes. Kind of use that crane with this a little bit more with these like can't tell what kind of plants they are. With those plants in the foreground there, with these really sharp and that in the background would be great. You're just a little closer and a little bit lower. But I really do like the shallow depth of field and that you are getting closer. So I like that. This is nice too. Looks like kind of pulled back from this similar plant. I do like you have the bus here. I maybe if I were to picky, I would say maybe to let it wait, like just in between these two posts, just so it's kind of like this symmetry. So that you would have these two posts, the bus in the middle, then you'd have this post and this in the middle, and then these two, along with all these pylons. So a lot of times, like photography is about timing as well. So I don't know if you're familiar with a photographer named Cartier-Bresson, but look him up, Henri Cartier-Bresson. He's all about the decisive moments. It's a little bit of a BS, but it's also like a lot of truth in it too. When really just being selective about when to hit the shutter and like when to hit that button to get the best photograph possible. This is nice too. It does get close to this getting blown out. It is a little bit hot. When you put it up against a white background, you want to be able to see like this border, this nice border. So when you go down here, you lose this border in here. But these buildings are really beautiful. I think that I don't know what kind of lens you had at the time, or if you could get it just close enough. But just even like that would be really nice without the sun in there. But it works still. It still is okay. This is actually one of my favorite ones you have because of this can. The can just really makes it for me. It really reminds me of this photograph or a photographer named Robert Adams, who uses very subtle things like cans in his photograph to like talk about the waste that people produce and things like that. So look up Robert Adams. He's a really great photographer. Wow, so you did get kind of closer in. Yeah, I really like this as opposed to this one. Uh, yeah, it looks like the same buildings there. Yeah, I like this one a lot more. It works a lot better. Again, this plane is really cool in here. That's really nice. I would just like maybe wait another minute or so and see if it were up here or down here, see where its path was, if there was a way you could kind of fill this space with the frame, or fill the empty space with this plane. And this is really well seen too. I really like how the moon. You did a great job, kind of framing the moon within the Palo Verde here and these power lines. It's really nicely seen. This has great quality light. I really like the bird. Looks like a big old raven hopping around. They're awesome around here. Yeah, I've watched this building go up, since I've lived here the past 3 years. It's gone up crazy fast. So then I start to think of, history and this lake, and that's not really a lake. And so kind of as I look through these, like they're all like they're good, they're beautiful. Many of them are very beautiful photographs, are well composed. The exposure is pretty solid on a lot of them. I do like this a lot, how you're looking up also, you're not just looking down. Um, but consider like the history of a place at times too when you photograph a place or a space. Consider history, consider who else has been there, consider influences of the space. Sometimes a place like that is created or aspects of it are created by other artists. What other kind of like how could you delve deeper into the subject and find something more than just this space? You're kind of showing like this is what you went if you went there, but if you went deeper and showed like a deeper knowledge or understanding of the place, like what would that look like? Did you see it like about a year or so ago when they emptied out the Tempe Town Lake? Like, there's so much stuff in the bottom of it. It would have been awesome to photograph all the junk in the bottom of the lake. Kind of like an odd version or odd take on the Tempe Town Lake. Um, yeah, and watch you have all these little dust spots around your sensors. Um, so try to clean your sensor. I don't know what kind of camera you're using, if it has an automatic cleaner. But anytime you see like have a good background like that or white background, you're going to have these little spots. It means you just need to clean your sensor, or you can remove them in Photoshop or Lightroom with a clone tool. But same thing here, you got a number of them kind of popping up. So they're totally okay for kind of like work prints or photographs like these. But if you were to turn them in for like a final project, you want to make sure they're nice and clean. Yeah, that's nice too. I like the division here is great. The reflection is very beautiful, and it's showing a different part of the lake, like these animals. It's nice as well. You have again good sense of lighting, good sense of timing, and etc. Those kind of things. It's just going a little deeper. What else could this place look like? Right here is the stadium. The stadium was actually, I found out recently that it's on top of Hohokam burial ground. So when they built the stadium, there's all kinds of Native American bones and remains that they just kind of tossed aside and didn't tell anyone. So this whole area was used so heavily by the Native Americans like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So there's a lot of history you could like delve into and explore if you wanted to go deeper into a subject like this. But yeah, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to email me, and I look forward to see your next project.